Hello and welcome to English for Arabs. English for Arabs is English for all. Interchange 3, 4th edition, Unit 10, Part 2. 7. Biography. The life story of a person written by someone else. Award, awarded, awarded, give, promote, encourage. Word of exercise number 9. Prediction, expectation, prediction, expectation, recognize, realize, boldness, loss of hair on the head, eliminate, eliminated, eliminated. In American we can make the T soft D, so say eliminate, eliminated, eliminated. British, stopped. American, stopped. Stopped. So here the D, ED, I make the D, T. I read it T sound because I have P at the end. The sound of P sound at the end of the verb. American, stopped. British, stopped. Vaccine. A medicine to prevent people from getting a disease. A medicine to prevent people from getting a disease. Alzheimer's. A disease of loss of memory. Set up, set up, establish, set up, establish, set up, T soft D in American, British, set up, set up. 10. Transmit thoughts and also SZ, transmit thoughts. So British and American, sometimes S and sometimes the S is the sound. Transmit thoughts, transmit thoughts. And this word, thoughts, thoughts. But in American, we make the OA sound, thoughts, to pass ideas. Melt, melted, melted, become liquid. 11. Unemployment, the number of people who don't have jobs. Efficient, working quickly and effectively. Rely on, depend on. Shrink, shrank, shrunk. This is the past and this is the past participle. It means here to become smaller. Medical breakthrough, medical achievement, drugs, medicine. Permanently, permanently, American, permanently, British, permanently. Temporarily, temporarily. Diet, when someone eats less to become thinner. So diet, when someone eats less to become thinner. 12. Accomplish, achieve, retire, to be on pension, to be on. Between E and O, the S sound, to be on pension. Now, words of exercise number 13. BBQ, a common abbreviation for barbecue, a style of cooking in which food is slowly cooked over fire outdoor. BBQ, a common abbreviation for barbecue, a style of cooking in which food is slowly cooked over a fire outdoor. Evolve, grow, develop, emerge, become known, appear from somewhere, make the most of, use in a beneficial way. Fusion, mix or blend of two or more things. British, concocted, concocted. American, concocted, created, invented. Gourmet, T silent, relating to good food and drink. Viral, infectious. Spreading, including online. Be a sensation, become very popular. The wave of the future, an indication of how things will be in the future. A trend that will last, Last, continue, a trend that will continue. Last here is verb. Capitalize on something. Use a situation to achieve something good for yourself. Capitalize on something. Use a situation to achieve something good for yourself.
67. Exercise 9. Perspectives. Part A. Listen to a survey about the future. Check the predictions you think will happen. What will the future hold?
Computers will recognize any voice command. You won't need a keyboard.
Within 20 years, scientists will have discovered a cure for baldness.
People will be living in cities under the ocean.
By 2025, world leaders will have eliminated terrorism.
Robots will be performing most factory jobs.
By 2050, we will have set up human communities on Mars.
Medical scientists will find a cure for Alzheimer's disease.
Exercise number 9. Listen to survey. A survey, a questionnaire about the future. Check the predictions. Predictions, expectations you think will happen. What will the future hold? Computers will recognize any voice command. Recognize, realize. You won't need a keyboard. Within 20 years, scientists will have discovered a cure for baldness. Baldness, loss of hair. People will be living in cities under the ocean. By 2025, world leaders will have eliminated terrorism. Eliminate. Eliminate, to stop. Robots. Robots will be performing most factory jobs. By 2050, we will have set up, American set up, T sub D, will have set up human communities on Mars. Medical scientists will find a cure for Alzheimer's disease, a cure, a treatment, a medical treatment. Alzheimer's, a disease of loss of memory, to lose the memory. B. Which of the predictions do you think will affect you? Which of these predictions, which of these expectations will have an effect on your life? Exercise number 10. Grammar focus.
Page 67, Exercise 10, Grammar Focus. Predicting the future with will. Use will to predict future events or situations.
Computers will recognize any voice command. You won't need a keyboard.
Use future continuous to predict ongoing actions.
People will be living in cities under the ocean.
Use future perfect to predict actions that will be completed by a certain time.
Within 20 years, scientists will have discovered a cure for baldness. By 2050, we will have set up human communities on Mars.
Predicting the future with will. Use will to predict future events or situations. So computers will recognize any voice command, and you won't need a keyboard. So here, when we use the future, this is simple future tense. The simple future tense, you will have subject, will, plus the main verb, will recognize, won't need the negative, will not need. So we have subject, will, and the main verb, or won't in negative, plus main verb. Use future continuous to predict ongoing actions. We use the future continuous to predict, to expect ongoing actions. So the actions here are continuing in the future. People will be living in cities under the oceans. So here we have subject, will be plus verb plus ing. Subject will be, and we put verb plus ing. People will be living in cities under the ocean. Use future perfect to predict actions that will be completed by certain time. So the future perfect, we expect something that will end at certain time in the future. We use words such as within or by. Within 20 years, by 2050. Within 20 years, scientists will have discovered the cure for baldness. By 2050, we will have set up human communities on Mars. So here, we're going to have subject plus will have plus past participle.
Okay, so after watching the video and the conversation, let's take a look at our grammar for today. So in the dialogue, in the conversation, we saw many examples of the future, and specifically the future with will. So we often use will to make predictions, which is what we saw in the video. But we can also use will to talk about anything in the future. So, for example, we saw the normal future in the conversation, and the normal future uses will, or in the negative form, won't, and then we use the base form of the verb. So remember, the base form of the verb is a verb that doesn't change. Never in the past tense, never with ing, never with ed, right? Just the normal base form verb. So we use this to talk about general ideas, general statements about the future, and we use it also for predictions. So what was the prediction about the robot? Do you remember? Well, the magazine said that people will have robots that do housework. Again, I'm using will and then the base form of the verb have, right? Now, do you remember the prediction about the cell phone? Well, one prediction they made was cell phones will be flexible. Again, using will and then the base form of the verb be, right? Now, an example of the negative, we said people won't have to worry about broken screens if the cell phones are flexible, right? So again, I use the negative form won't, and then I use the base form of have to, right? Good. Okay, well, we had another type of the future with will, and we saw this in the conversation, and that was the future continuous, or the future progressive. Now, in this we use will, right? And then we use the base form of be. Remember, always using the base form. And then we use the gerund, right? And the gerund is the verb in the ing continuous form. So that makes it continuous. But we always need to use the verb be when we use the continuous form of the verb to make our sentence continuous. And it's in the future. So for this, it's an action that will be in the process at a specific time in the future. So what this means, if we look at this graph, is that here we are now, and that at some time in the future, if we look at a specific time in the future, there's an action that is going to be happening. It will be happening, right? So who knows when it started, but if we look at that moment in time, the action will already be in process. And so this is the grammar that we use to talk about a specific action like that. So let's take a look at this picture, the picture of Mars, right? Now they made a prediction about Mars and they made it using the future continuous. So do you remember what that prediction was? They said people will be living on Mars in 60 years. Again, so we use will, the base form of be, and then our gerund, the continuous verb. And that means that in 60 years, if we look at that time at 60 years, people will already be living on Mars. Who knows when they started? That's not important. But the idea is that at that point, in 60 years, people will be living on Mars. Okay. Well, let's look at this one. Do you remember this one about food? What was the prediction about food? Well, again, using the future continuous, they said, in 2060, people will be eating pills. Right? Remember, that's a pill right there. So again, we're using will plus be, the base form, and then our continuous verb, eating, right? And that means, again, if we look at that time in 2060 or in 2060, that people will be eating pills at that point in time, okay? So again, we use the future continuous with will, the base form of be, and then our gerund in the ing. Very good. Alright, now for the last form of the future that we saw with will, we saw the future perfect. So the future perfect uses will, and then it uses a perfect tense. And the perfect tense is always using have as an auxiliary, and then the main verb is the past participle. Remember, past participles are things like gone, or seen, or taken, right? So these are the past participles, and that's what we use in the future perfect, right? So when do we use the future perfect? Well, we use the future perfect for an action that will happen before another action in the future. So if we look at this graph, here we are now, we use the future perfect to describe this action, right? And we want to clarify, we want to say that this action is going to happen and it's going to finish before another action happens, right? And so the grammar for the future perfect is about this first action. So let's look at one of the sentences that we had. So one of the future perfect examples was, the population will have reached 10 billion by 2060. So if we think that this is 2060, that's the second thing to happen. But before the year 2060, the population will have reached 10 billion. So again, I'm using will, and then my perfect tense grammar here using have, and then my past participle, reached, right? So this means that the population will have reached 10 billion, and then later it will be the year 2060. And so this grammar indicates one action that happens before the second. Okay? So if you're thinking, what is by? By in this context, when I use the future perfect, basically means before. Okay? Now let's look at another example that we had. Here we had an example that said, humans will have been to Mars within 20 years. Again, so if I think I'm using my grammar in the future perfect, here's will, and then the perfect tense, using have, and my past participle. And so that's describing the first action. Humans will have been to Mars within 20 years. So within, if we see, is about the duration of time. From the moment that we're speaking to the moment in the future, how much time is that? We use within. That means in a certain amount of time. In this context, 20 years. So that means that if we look into the future, sometime before 20 years, it could be tomorrow, it could be in 5 years or 10 years or 15 years, but basically in the amount of time of 20 years, at some time, humans will have been to Mars, right? So again, using that future perfect to describe the first action that's going to happen before the second thing happens. Alright. Okay, so just to review the different types of future that we looked at today, let's look at the normal future. Remember, the normal future was will and our base form verb, right? And we use this to talk about basic things that are going to happen in the future. For example, cell phones will be flexible, right? Now, we also use the future continuous with will, which is will, and then our base form of be, and the gerund, and the continuous verb. So we use this to talk about actions that will be happening, actions that will be in the process at some time in the future. So, for example, in 2060, people will be eating pills. Good. Now, the other thing we did was with the future perfect. And the future perfect was will, and then our perfect tense. And that's have as the auxiliary plus the past participle for the main verb. Okay? Now we use this for two actions in the future, and we want to indicate which action happens first. So for example, humans will have been to Mars within 20 years. So first, humans will go to Mars, then 20 years will happen. So humans will have been to Mars within 20 years. So I hope this was helpful in learning about our different forms of the future using will. I hope it was helpful, and good luck on the rest of the grammar. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.
Let's answer the question. Complete these predictions with the correct verb forms. More than one answer is possible. Then compare with a partner. 1. In 10 years, flights from New York to Tokyo take less than 2 hours. So here, the answer is will take. 1. Will take. 2. Soon, they sell computers that can translate perfectly from one language to another. Number 2. Soon, they will sell computers. Another answer. Soon, they will be selling computers that can translate perfectly from one language to another. So number 2, will sell, will be selling. 3. By the middle of the 21st century, scientists discover a way to prevent aging, to stop aging, to be an old man, to be old. So 3, will have discovered. By the middle of 21st century, scientists will have discovered a way to prevent aging. 4. Sometime in the future, scientists invent a machine that transmits our thoughts, American thoughts. So number 4, the answer, will invent. Scientists will invent a machine that transmits our thoughts. 5. In the future, people live on the moon. People will live on the moon. In the future, people will live on the moon. Another answer, people will be living on the moon. 6. In less than a decade, 10 years. In less than 10 years, the polar ice caps melt and many islands disappear. In less than a decade, the polar ice caps will have melted or will melt. Many islands will have disappeared. Another answer, will disappear. Melt to become a liquid. Melt to become a liquid. So again, the answer is number 1, will take. 2, will sell or will be selling. 3, will have discovered. 4, will invent. 5, will live or will be living. 6, will have melted, will melt, or will have disappeared, will disappear. B. Group work. Discuss each prediction in part A. Discuss each prediction in part A. Do you agree or disagree? So here in this exercise, you will discuss every expectation. Example. A. In 10 years, flights from New York to Tokyo will take less than 2 hours. What do you think? Oh, I totally agree. T sub D. Oh, I totally agree. I think they'll use space shuttle. Space shuttle like space vehicle, spaceship. I think they'll use space shuttle technology to build faster airplanes. See, I'm not so sure. Those flights normally take about 14 hours. How are they gonna come up with an invention that shortens the trip by 12 hours? I'm not sure. Maybe. Those flights normally take about 14 hours. Normally? Usually. How are they gonna come with an invention that shortens the trips by 12 hours? C. Class activity. Discuss these questions. 1. What 3 recently developed technologies will have the greatest impact effect on our lives in the next 20 years? What 3 recently developed technologies will have the greatest impact on our lives in the next 20 years? 2. What are the 3 most important changes that will have occurred on Earth by 2050? 3. Which 3 jobs will people not be doing in 50 years, and why? So you're gonna make a group discussion between you and your friends.
68. Exercise 11. Listening. A perfect future? Part A. Listen to people discuss changes that will affect these topics of interest in the future. Write down 2 changes for each topic. 1. Work.
Work? In the future? Well, I think unemployment will keep getting worse.
I agree. As companies get more efficient and more computerized, they're finding ways of using less staff.
So I guess people will find it hard to get a good job unless they have excellent qualifications.
Yeah, I think that's probably true. But I also think that because of computers, more and more people will be telecommuting instead of going into an office.
Wow, I'd really love that. Can you imagine spending most of your work week in the comfort of your own home?
Personally, I would get much more done. And with email, instant messaging, and video conferencing, you can still keep in touch with everyone you need to.
Well, I'd certainly enjoy it, but I don't know if I'd get more done or not. I'm afraid I might just turn on the TV and zone out.
So number 1, work. Work, what are the changes? Unemployment is going to keep getting worse. More people will be working at home.
2. Transportation.
As far as transportation is concerned, I think there will be huge changes in the way people use cars. They'll probably have made laws about what kind of car you can own and when you can use it.
And I bet it'll be impossible for people to use cars whenever they like. There'll just be too many of them on the roads.
Exactly. People will have to take other modes of transportation, especially trains.
Why do you say that?
Well, we won't be able to use cars, and airports take up too much space. With the supply of land for airports shrinking around the world, there will be fewer airports and fewer plane flights. That leaves trains.
Huh. So do you think there will be more efficient train systems between cities?
Sure. There may even be trains going under the oceans to connect the major continents.
Under the oceans? Get out of here. I get nervous enough flying on a plane.
Number 2, transportation. They will have laws about what kind of car you can own and when you can use it. There will be fewer airports and more efficient train systems. Number 2, they will have laws about what kind of car you can own and when you can use it. There will be fewer airports and more efficient train systems. 3.
3. Education. How do you think education will change in the future?
I think kids are going to have to stay in school until they're older. Maybe until they're 20 or 21.
Why?
Well, one reason is that there won't be enough jobs for everyone. So it will be necessary to keep kids in school longer.
I think they will have found a way for us to learn without teachers. There will be computer learning programs that can teach you much more quickly than a teacher, and they'll also make learning much more fun.
Are you saying that our teachers weren't any fun?
Well, okay, maybe some of them were fun.
3. Education. Kids are going to stay in school longer. kids are going to stay in school longer. Kids gonna stay in school longer. There will be a way to learn without teachers. There will be a way to learn without teachers. 4.
4. Health.
Every day you hear about some new medical breakthrough on the news.
Yeah, and who knows what will happen in the next 50 years?
I think in the next 50 years there will be new drugs that will help people lose weight permanently without dieting.
And hopefully they will have found cures for many of the diseases that are around today, so people will live longer.
How much longer do you think?
I bet that within the next 50 years, most people will live to be over 100.
Drugs will have been discovered. People will lose weight without dieting. They will have found cures for many diseases, so people will live to be over 100. B. Group work. Can you suggest one or more possible changes for each topic? For work, transportation, education, health? You can suggest any answer. Discussion. Things will be different. Now, group work. Talk about these questions. What do you think you will be doing a year from now? What do you think you'll be doing 5 years from now? So in the future, a year from now, what are you going to do? Or after 5 years from now? Here, look at the picture. Someone is thinking. He thinks that maybe in 5 years he's going to be a pilot. He's going to fly an airplane, and he's working in a restaurant, fast food restaurants. He's absent mind. The customers are surprised because he doesn't pay attention to them. Do you think you will still be living in the same place? What are 3 things you think you will have accomplished within the next 5 years? What are 3 things you won't have done within the next 5 years? In what ways do you think you will have changed by the time you retire? The time you retire when you are 60 years old. Exercise number 13. Reading. foodtrendsnational.com. Home, food trucks, restaurants, fast food. Tweet to eat. So tweet from Twitter. Just send a tweet to eat, to have the food. Look at the picture here. This is Chef Roy Choi of Kuji BBQ. BBQ barbecues. Skim the article. What is innovative about Kuji barbecues business model? BBQ's business model. Now this article is about food. As technology evolves, technology grows as technology develops. So evolve, grow, or develop. New business models emerge. New business models become known or appear from somewhere. So you have new business patterns. For many years, businesses have sold their products and services online, but now social networking is changing the way people do business. Kuji BBQs. BBQ, a common abbreviation for barbecue, a style of cooking in which food is slowly cooked over fire outdoor. In Los Angeles, in LA, has found profitable way profitable ways to make the most of today's technology. To have a profit, to make money, to earn a lot of money. Kuji BBQ is a restaurant that serves a fusion of Korean and Mexican food. So this is Kuji BBQ. What is it? It's a restaurant that serves a mixture of Korean and Mexican food. Concocted, British concocted, American concocted, created, invented, created by Chef Roy Choi. The kimchi, this is kind of food in Korean food. The kimchi, quesadilla, and short rib taco are two favorites. These are two kinds of food, kimchi and rib taco. Besides, Kuji BBQ is different from other restaurants. What is the difference between Kuji and other restaurants? Because people don't come to it. It goes to the people. The food goes to the people. Kuji BBQ uses 5 food service trucks. So they use trucks, very big vehicles, to carry food to people, to cities, called Azul, Verde, Roger, Naranja, and Rustita. They are the names of the 5 big cars that carry foods to deliver cheap. They deliver cheap, fast food to long lines of hungry and mostly young customers throughout the city. So they deliver cheap, relating to good food and drink. For who? For hungry people. But how do people know where to find a Kuji BBQ truck? Technology is at the center of its business. Kuji BBQ uses the social networking site Twitter to inform customers where each of its trucks will be and when. So the restaurant uses technology. Kuji BBQ uses social networking such as Twitter, Facebook. So the tweets Kuji BBQ uses the social networking site Twitter to inform customers where each of its truck will be and when. The tweets, Twitter messages, tweets. The tweets look like this one. Dinner time, so this is the dinner time. Azul, this is the name of the truck, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. So the vehicle, the big car that carries food will be from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock. The food gonna be dinner, not lunch or breakfast. We're at Northridge, Devonshire and Risda. The place and the kind of food. 10:30 p.m., 11:30 p.m. at City of Industry, 1855-8 Gal Avenue. So we're gonna be in this area. Customer can even post requests like this one. The customer gonna send messages like this. Can you come to Kulema and Roland Heights earlier? Maybe around 6 to 9? Thanks. So they send messages to get the food and they ask for earlier time. Kuji BBQ has been a viral sensation in Los Angeles. A viral sensation, it becomes very famous. It becomes like an infectious. As a virus, it becomes very famous in LA. In addition to Twitter, Kuji BBQ uses YouTube, Facebook, blogs, and other electronic tools like text messaging to stay connected with its customers. By avoiding traditional advertising, usual advertising, and building its business around an online community. So the business is based on the internet, on online society. Koji BBQ has created a Koji culture fueled by dedicated fans spread the world. So they have a lot of fans, a lot of customers who gonna spread this kind of food all over the world. Time will tell if this is a passing fad. It's just gonna happen for some time, it's gonna stay for short time, or it's gonna be a trend that will last for the future, a trend that will continue in the future. Either way, this much is true. As technology changes, businesses will figure out how to capitalize on it. Capitalize on something. Use the situation to achieve something good for yourself. A. Read the article, then complete the summary with information from the article. So here in this exercise, we're going to read the article and then we complete. Technology impacts the way people do business. Koji BBQ, a trendy restaurant in Los Angeles, has developed a successful business model. A successful business model based on new technology. Koji BBQ delivers fast food from five food service trucks to inform customers of their whereabouts. Koji BBQ uses social networking sites like Twitter. In so doing, Koji BBQ has built an online community of customers who love and seek out its food. B. Use information in the article to answer the following questions in your own words. Where does Koji BBQ do business? Koji BBQ does business in Los Angeles. Its trucks deliver food from various locations throughout the city. Why is Koji BBQ considered fusion cuisine? It's a combination of Korean and Mexican food. What is unique about Koji BBQ? It goes to customers. What's a tweet? What's a tweet? A tweet is a message sent through the social networking. A tweet is a message sent through the social networking site Twitter. What's Koji culture? Koji culture describes the interactive online community of Koji BBQ fans. What does it mean to capitalize on something? To capitalize means to take advantage of, often in terms of money. To take advantage of, often in terms of money. See, what other companies use social networking to enhance their business? How might technology change the way people do business in the future? Now this is group work. You're going to do it, you and your friends. Now let's get the homework. Number 1, keep the words by heart. Number 2, listen and repeat. 3, watch the video of Mr.Kyle Rolofson, the grammar video. 4, answer 3 pages of the workbook, Unit 10. Go to www.cambridge.org/interchange/arcade/. You will have more exercises, wonderful ones. Finally, watch the video of Interchange 3, Unit 10, the video of Cambridge University. Hope you like it, share it and subscribe. Thanks for watching guys. شكرا للمشاهدة. Hope you like it, share it and subscribe. يرجى الاشتراك على القناة الآن. Thanks for watching. شكرا والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.